Man's gonna get you.
Michael Myers kills babysitters, not kids.
He's not dead. He's watching me. I know you're in here.
You're obsessed with death.
You came here to kill me.
Do it.
Halloween ends. Rated R.
Welcome back to the 31 Days of Spooks. My name is Dylan Goebel, and today I'm talking about Halloween Ends, released in 2022. The film was directed by David Gordon Green, and it stars Jamie Lee Curtis returning in her role as Laurie Strode. As in this one, she must face Michael once and for all, and put an end to his reign of terror. That is not actually what this movie's about. That doesn't kick in until the last 5 minutes of the movie. This movie's been out for 3 years now. I can explain what this plot is, because explaining the plot of Halloween Ends is a spoiler itself. But yeah, like I said, it's been out for 3 years, so I can spoil the shit out of this movie if I want. And I know this movie is not well received by anybody, really, so who the fuck cares? Anyways, what this movie really is about this dumbass named Corey, who ends up accidentally killing this kid that he babysits, and then the next year, on Halloween, he's being bullied by a marching band, and Laurie Strode just kind of helps him out a little bit. And then he finally meets Michael Myers, who is weak in a sewer for some fucking reason. Michael gives him his powers, because that's what Michael can do. And then Corey ends up continuing Michael's reign of terror throughout Haddonfield. And Corey and Laurie Strode's granddaughter spark a romance. Yeah, that is actually what this movie really is about. Sounds thrilling, doesn't it? So yeah, before I get into the negatives, I gotta get to the positives, because I actually do have some positives with Halloween Ends. There's a couple of good kills in here. It's well shot. The performances are great. The few times Michael's on screen in this movie, it's pretty good, especially in the final act. Especially in the final act when the movie finally fucking delivers what the trailer promised. I will say, I don't hate this movie like a lot of people do. Is it a disappointing Halloween movie? Yes, but I just don't hate this movie like a lot of other people do, and maybe it's because I'm not a hardcore fan of the Halloween franchise, but I can definitely see the hate that this movie got. But yeah, there's a few positive aspects of this movie, like, there's this one kill involving a disc jockey. He gets his tongue cut out and his head bashed in. That was pretty cool. Michael's death is pretty awesome too. I mean, they put him in this fucking, they just grind him up in this car wrecking thing, and it's pretty awesome too. Yeah, there's some bright spots in this movie, mainly from like acting and a couple kills, and the cinematography is really good, and yeah, it's just mainly like the technical aspects and a few bright spots like performances and shit. That's where this movie really thrives. Other than that, let's get to the negatives. This movie, it's one of the biggest examples of false advertisement ever put in a movie. Because, this movie was really hyping you up for the big finale between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, when really that is not at all what this movie's about. Because, yeah, the entire movie is focusing on this Corey character, and, yeah, he's doing most of the killing in this movie, because Michael is weak in a sewer for some reason, even though in Halloween Kills, he was unstoppable. So, you're telling me, because Michael hasn't been killing anybody for a while, suddenly he's weak? And he's a little bitch, too. Like, he gets his ass kicked by Corey at one point in the movie. And then, yeah, that leads to Michael transferring his powers into Corey. And it's never been established in any movie in this franchise that Michael could transfer powers into people. This movie has the worst writing out of these three movies, because Michael being able to transfer powers is stupid. It is so dumb. And then Michael suddenly being weak because he hasn't killed anybody in a while, that is also stupid. Especially considering Michael was unstoppable in the last one. It's baffling with the story choices that are being made in this movie. And also, let's talk about Michael's screen time in this movie. He doesn't show up until about 45 minutes into the movie. Yeah, it takes damn near an hour for Michael to show up. And then not only that, he barely has any screen time. He has less than 10 minutes of screen time in this entire movie. For a movie that's supposed to be about a grand finale, like the final showdown between Michael and Laurie, Michael is barely in the movie. And then what takes Michael's place in this movie? A really boring love story in between Laurie Strode's granddaughter and Corey. That takes a large chunk of this movie, and I'm thinking, holy shit, we come here to see a Halloween movie with some killing, and I mean, you do get some killing eventually in the movie, but yeah, it's a lot of this movie is dedicated to this love story, and it was not needed. And then, not only that, the story involving Laurie Strode. Okay, so she's been through some hell in the first two movies. In this trilogy, I should say. And then, yeah, this whole time, she was really trying to, she was driving herself insane, trying to prepare for the return of Michael Myers. But she is so chill in this movie. She seems so at ease and relaxed, despite knowing that Michael is still out there. And she lost her daughter in the last one. Remember, at the end of Halloween Kills, Michael kills her daughter. Why the fuck is she so chill throughout this whole movie? Why? And there's no explanation for it either. That's what I mean. This movie's writing is atrocious. It has the worst writing out of all three of these sequel trilogy Halloween movies. I am dead fucking serious. And let's talk about the kills themselves. Okay, so remember how much of a fucking bloodbath Halloween Kills was? This movie backtracks that by being pretty fucking tame. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of kills that are pretty good. I mean, yeah, there's Michael's death. There's that disc jockey's death that was pretty good. A guy gets a fucking welding torch to the face. That was pretty cool. But other than that, there's a lot of kills that are just off-screen. They show no blood, despite the R rating of this movie saying bloody horror, violence, and gore. There is not much gore in this movie. Not much blood either. You get a little bit here and there, but a lot of it is just off-screen, tame as shit. What the fuck? Why do you go from such an insane bloodbath like Halloween Kills to this tame as shit movie like Halloween Ends? I don't get it. I don't know why these choices were made, but yeah, in terms of Halloween Ends, besides a couple of pretty good kills, this movie kind of disappoints in the kills department overall. And then, yeah, the last 5 minutes of the final act is when this movie finally delivers on what it promises. Michael finally enters the story for once. And yeah, you get a little fight between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, and then that ends very quickly. It almost reminded me of the fight between Batman and Superman and Batman v Superman, but yeah, it's just a short little fight. You know, they're kind of hurting each other a bit, and then Michael fucking dies, and then they dispose of his body in that car wrecking thing. He gets all ground up, and then all of a sudden Laurie is finally at peace, even though she seemed like she was at peace throughout the entire fucking movie. And yeah, that's the movie. I mean, yeah, I don't hate this movie because it does have a few positives that I give it credit for, but when it comes to the writing, the writing is the worst aspect of this movie, and the story. So yeah, I completely understand why this movie got the hate that it did, and it is absolutely the weakest movie in this trilogy. And yeah, it is a disappointing movie, but I don't have much hate for it because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Halloween franchise. I don't hold it to a high standard like I do Friday the 13th or A Nightmare on Elm Street or shit like that. But yeah, it is a very disappointing movie, and considering I love slasher movies and this movie doesn't really deliver a whole lot on all that, yeah, the hate is justified, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of this movie myself, but there's far worse horror films out there in my opinion. It's just the writing and the story that really fucked this movie into the ground, and the fact that this is the third installment of a trilogy. That is just baffling, and yeah, maybe if they ever do another Halloween trilogy like this, do do some proper planning, do some proper storytelling and shit like that. That's all that really needs to be done. It can't be that hard to make a slasher trilogy. Like, come on. I am going to give Halloween Ends a C minus.